Okay, so I wanted to get these wheels off the drift car and put the orange ones on. I don't know if I have another tire though to go on that other rim, but we'll get started with one and just kind of see how it goes from there. I have so much stuff in this garage now between the tires that we got and just the car in general that I feel like it's hard to move around here. I was practicing on the tire changer to take tires on and off, so I had the valve stem out, but we got to go ahead and put that back in before we start airing up the tire. I need to get the little tool that you use to do this. All that I used was I just used this little screwdriver here, and I twisted it out and then twisted it back in, which is effective, but it'd be a lot nicer if I had a little tool that would do it. The other thing I need to get done besides getting the wheels is I still need to get the radiator done for this thing and mount it in the back. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to go about doing it. I know some people, I've seen one person ran PVC pipe, which I'm definitely not going to do that, but it's usually A&N fittings and line all the way to the back, or some people use like metal piping and run it from the back, from the front to the back. I might do a combination of the two. I don't want metal piping in the engine bay because it'll make it look like crap. So I'll just see which route I want to go with so we can finish up the trunk and get this radiator in here. That's like one of the only projects left on this thing. If I'm going to get rid of this, everything has to be working. So I do need to make sure that I get that done. It's just figuring out how to finish it. Why, some people would ask, why would we want to get rid of this thing? Because it is a good car and it's a fun car and I enjoy using it. The only thing is, you know, just trying to get used to a new platform, and I want to get away from the solid rear axles that you have in this thing. I don't know, we'll see how it works out. I know that I used to have these brackets for the exhaust, old exhaust hangers, and I know that the way they were set up would be perfect for the bottom of the radiator or the top of the radiator due to these ends here. But I just need to make sure everything fits and that I can find them. I got such a mess around here, I need to clean up everything. Always make sure that you keep your garage clean, because later when you need something and you can't find it, you're going to be super mad about that. So just make sure that you keep everything where you can find it. Otherwise you're going to be all salty like I am. Okay, so one thing that I've been getting asked, two things that I've been getting asked lately is, one is, what is it that I do for a living that allows me to have all these toys? And the other thing is, how did I get started? So, first of all, what do I do? I had been doing warehouse jobs for the last 18 years. I've been a warehouse supervisor, manager, depending on which company the title changes. And I was salary and the pay was consistent. Did I make a ton of money doing that? No. Once you get into bigger buildings, the higher up you go up the food chain, of course, the more you make. But I was making a decent living doing that. But after 18 years of doing something, I didn't really have fun doing it anymore. And if you've ever had a job where you weren't happy, you know how bad that sucks. So I got out of that, and so now I actually sell cars. That's what I do. Is it going to be something I do for the rest of my life? Maybe not, but it's something that I'm doing right now. If you've ever thought about selling cars, there's a few things I want you to understand before you make that move. If you are single and you have a little bit of savings, go for it. But if you have a family and you have house payments and car payments and you don't have a little bit of savings built up, it's not something you want to jump right into. And the reason for that is because it doesn't pay a lot right off the bat. So like with my job that I have right now, I get paid $2,000 a month. That's just basic. That's what I'm gonna make. So that's basically working for about minimum wage for the hours that I put in. With that though is once you sell a car, whatever commission you make off of that based on the percentage that's set up with your dealership, that's the extra money that you make. So when you hear of car salesmen saying they make tons of money, it's because they're selling some high dollar objects and making a lot of commission on the backside. With the particular job that I have, that $2,000 that I make each month, I end up in turn having to kind of pay that back to the dealership. So before I start to see any real money, I have to sell over $2,000 worth of cars in terms of commission on my side. And you got to sell a few cars to do that. I sold, I think the last 8 days, I sold 4.5 cars. Half deals are when you have to split it with someone. And I ended up making $600 and something. Is that going to be enough to pay back the dealership what I got paid? No, so I'm really not making anything. So you have to sell volume to do that. And you also have to sell either a lot of cars or a lot of high dollar cars. So if you think that you can get into this and you can only sell 1 or 2 or 3 cars a month and you're going to be able to make it, you will not unless those 1 or 2 or 3 cars that you're selling are Lamborghinis, Ferraris, or McLarens. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to make it off of just 1 or 2 cars. Do I like the job? Yes, I do like the job. I get to meet a lot of cool people, a lot of interesting people. I get to drive a lot of cool cars. You know, in the last few weeks, I've gotten to drive lifted trucks, which I've done before, but just different ones. Lifted diesels, dualies, RSs, STs, Mustangs. I mean, I'm a Ford guy. I work for Ford now, and I get to drive the cars that I've always wanted to drive, or the cars that I have and the cars that I love. The performance side of it. I know that world. Hopefully I'll be able to start selling some RTRs. I know you guys hear me say a lot about RTR. I always wear my RTR stuff. I'm not sponsored by RTR. I'm not paid to say anything about RTR. It's a company that's good and it's a company that I love, and it's a company that I would like to sell and support. So maybe one day when I get to where I want to be and I'm doing better and Grassroots Sales Service Garage is up there, then maybe we can be a distributor for RTR. Maybe I can work hand in hand with RTR. But it's all about having an end goal. Whatever you set up has got to set you up for the next thing. So what do? For now, I sell cars. It's not my end game. This is my end game. Racing, having fun with my friends, and GSSG. The other question that I get is, how did I get started? Getting started, oh man, bugs are all over the place. So how did I get started? I just started going out to track days. My family has always been car people. I've been a car person as long as I've been able to remember. I had cars up on my wall, on my Trapper Keeper, for those of you who are old enough to know what a Trapper Keeper is. I would have Lamborghini posters up on my wall next to Cindy Crawford and Pamela Anderson. For those of you who don't know who they are, I guess I'll put some pictures up here. They were gorgeous. About the time I was graduating from high school is when the Fast and Furious movies first started coming out. I went and I got myself a 1999 Mitsubishi Eclipse like Brian had in Fast and Furious. I thought it was so awesome. What was cool was there was so much going on at that time with those types of cars, so there were so many different modifications that I could do. I started off by doing taillights, then it went to exhaust, then it went to different headlights and clear corners, and then I started getting into body work. And then that's when my brother Max and then Drew joined in, and then we all started doing stuff with cars. And from going to things like Hot Import Nights, I got turned on to other racing events, like drifting. So back when I got started into it, you didn't hear a whole lot about drifting. It was just kind of new here. So I would try and find whatever I could. I'd slide around my cars in parking lots. And then I would drag race as well. Street racing, which was illegal and is still illegal, and I shouldn't have done, but I did, and everybody does it. So I went from there and I started using the drag strip the way most people should, and then I started learning about autocross. So I started autocrossing my cars and had a lot of fun with that. So then the drifting started coming over, and then in 2004 when Formula D started, then you started seeing more local drift events popping up all across the nation. And so I started going to those with my Mustangs and then my RX-7s, and then having fun doing that stuff. And it was all just about meeting the right people who were into it and knew what was going on. And I tell anybody right now who asks me, how do you get started? You get a car, you start searching on Facebook, you start searching on forums, you join groups, and you find out where these events are. You can go onto the SCCA website. I go on there and I check stuff from time to time to see what's going on there. You can join, and it's not even that much, and you can find out about events around you. You can go on to dlbracing.com and you can register for events, and it shows you events that are in your area. But like, join a forum that is specific to your car. If you have a BRZ, if you have an FRS, a Mustang, a Subaru of any kind, a Toyota, a Focus ST, find those groups and join those groups, and they are going to show you where events are, and you're going to find out different modifications that people do to their car to do the things that you want to do. You can't find out if you don't get started, and the easiest way to do it is get a car and start researching everything you can about that car. Because once you get to the forums, you're always going to find a place where people are racing those, and places that people go, and the hot spots, and the things that you can do. And it is a world of fun. I would suggest to anyone, start there. And then once you start going to one event and you like that event and you start meeting people that you become friends with, then those people are going to turn you on to new events, and they're going to be like, hey, guess what? I go to this event on this time of this month. And then next thing you know, you have a new buddy and you have a new event that you can go to, and then you grow on that, because that's how any of us find out about anything. The thing with motorsports is people have fun with it. Tons of people love to do motorsports, but it's not one of those things that you're going to see advertised like an amusement park. For the longest time, I didn't realize that the local police academy, they do track events there. They do autocrosses, they do drift events. Never knew any of that stuff until I started going to events, and then people started telling me about it. So I would say really just get out there and start learning and doing cool stuff and having fun, like we do. I know I've said it in other videos, but it's really a lot of fun. Can it be a little pricey? Absolutely. But what isn't that you love to do? Unless, I don't know, it's underwater basket weaving, but then you still have to pay for your scuba gear, and then you got to pay for all your basket weaving stuff, so it's still going to be pricey. So anything worth doing that's going to be fun is going to cost you a little bit of money. It's just the way the world works these days, and I think it's the way the world has always worked. You just got to get on the bandwagon. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If this is your first time watching, make sure you click down below, subscribe, hit that little bell so it'll send you notifications whenever we post. It's easier than coming here and just trying to search and see when we do it. But in case you want to know, it's every Monday and it's every Thursday. Let us know what you want us to show you guys next. Do you guys want to see more of what we're doing here with the drift car? Do you want to see more of what we're doing with the RTR? Maybe the ST? Maybe you want to see some cars from around my job. Are you a dealership or anybody in the Houston area that wants to have your dealership featured on here and let us drive your car around and review it? Absolutely. Hit us up at info@grassrootsssgarage.com. And if you guys have any questions like the ones I answered today, put them in the comments below, and we'll just start making videos based on what you guys want to see, because this is all about you guys and watching us and having fun and doing all the cool things that people do. And that's it for this video. Until next time, peace. You can also reach us at info@grassrootsssgarage.com if you want to know events in your area, and we can show you the tools and the things and the stuff that people do. Put those questions in the comments below. We'll hit them up and we'll make a video about it so you guys can help see what we need to blah 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 blah. Put them in the comments below. What is that? Is there any... blah, 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 blah.